Hey, welcome back to the Old Deer Hunters, everybody. Today I want to tell to you about my new tripod setup. Now, this new tripod consists of a set of carbon fiber legs, a ball head, and a clamp mount. So stick with me and we'll go over this new setup and I'll tell you why I like it. I recently upgraded my tripod setup, and so now I have two components that are what I think are essential when you're using a tripod setup for coyote hunting. And I've had these for a while. The first one is a Really Right Stuff clamp mount. The second is a Desmond Delo 55 ball head. And the new part of this is the tripod legs. The tripod legs on this setup are from Leo Photo. The model number is SO322C. And this particular model of tripod leg is made of carbon fiber. And the old one I'm upgrading from, which is a Shadow Tech, this is a center post type, and it's made of aluminum. The main advantage of going to a carbon fiber tripod legs versus the aluminum is the weight savings. The aluminum tripods usually run anywhere from 5 to 6 pounds, and that doesn't sound like much until you get a rifle and a large scope and everything mounted on it, and you've got a call hanging off your side, and you're making that 100-yard trek across that field to get set up at the proper place to call coyotes. But it weights you down. So I went with this particular setup for a couple of reasons. First of all, I wanted a tripod with no center post, because if you buy a tripod with a yoke instead of a center post, then you have a much more stable platform, because this part that the ball head sets on is much larger. This particular set of tripod legs is a inverse leg style. What that means is the outside slips up over the inside. Most tripods, the larger part of the leg is at the top, and then it telescopes down with 2 to 4 pieces, and each one of those has an individual adjustment that you have to adjust and get just right when you're setting it up. This one, it only has, one. You bring it down, you mark it, you set it, you lock it. It's very easy and very quick to put into operation. The top of the leg is a very good size for you to hold on to when you're moving to pick it up. And it's very strong. These legs are rated at 66 pounds. In other words, you could have a 66-pound rifle on top of this thing and it would take care of it just fine. If you don't think that's enough and you want something that's really rock steady, they make the same legs with an 88-pound rating. But I think, 66 pounds is great. Times I've got to use it, the rifle is super steady. And because it has this wide base, the ball head never moves. It just sits right in there. It's solid as can be. And when you get it set up and you got your rifle on top of it, it is really a really stable platform. So that's the first thing. Now I'll go back and cover the other parts of this tripod system I've been using here for a couple of years now. The first one is a Delo 55 ball head. This Desmond Delo 55 is pretty much a clone of the Really Right Stuff 55. But even though it's a clone, I've been using it, a lot for the last couple of years, and it really, really works well. The main thing you're going to be using this for all the time is right here. Now, this has a large knurled knob, which is really easy to use. You don't have to reach down there, and fiddle with a little tiny knob in the dark. It's right there. And you can lock that sucker down. You can put a lot of torque on it. You can really get that rifle steady. It also has a couple of other adjustments over here where you can lock it down where it won't move at all, or you can lock the ball and you can lock the rotation. If you lock the rotation, it won't turn. Whichever way the rifle is pointed, that's it. So if you're transporting it, it may be a good idea to lock it down, but be sure when you get back on stand that you unlock it so you have free movement. I really prefer to loosen this and let this swivel. And then up and down I can correct it with a ball head. So I can actually be turning this thing back and forth before I ever have to touch the ball head. It works really well. I've never had any problems with it. When you lock it down, the rifle stays there. It don't flop down, it doesn't tilt back. You can actually pick the whole rifle up and everything and walk away with it. Now, the next part of this setup is this clamp. Most of the time when you buy a ball head, unless you buy a really right stuffed ball head, which costs quite a bit more than the Desmond, it will come with a clamp up here that just has a screw. Do not use it. Take it off, throw it away. Don't even think about attaching your rifle to that ball head using a screw clamp, because it doesn't matter, you know, it's just a matter of time before you pick your rifle up and it falls off. What usually happens is that it feels tight, you got it as tight as you can with your fingers, and you start hiking across the field with your tripod and your rifle, and the first thing you know, that rifle slides off. We do not want that to happen. So I'm going to get my rifle. I'll be right back. I'm going to show you how this works. Okay, when you get ready to mount your rifle using this clamp mount, you'll need a Shadow Tech or some other type of mount that goes on the bottom of your rifle. So all you have to do, set it in there and lock it down. And as we do that, you can see that the rifle's clear. Bolt is open. This is what gives you that security, that clamp. Of all the times I've carried this rifle, and I usually just pick it up just like this, put it on my shoulder, and take off through the field. And you can walk this thing around all day. If you're using that really right stuff clamp mount, you won't have to worry about your rifle sliding off. Now, how do I know that the others don't work? The reason I know the others don't work is because this rifle has hit the ground about 3 times before I bought this clamp. If you hunt with a screw clamp, you're going to drop this rifle. I want my rifle and my scope to stay attached to this tripod. And see that? Really right stuff. That's the one to get. Now, there may be some others out there that work as well. I don't know. It costs like, I think, 120 bucks. It's the best security you can buy for your rifle and scope. Now, if you have a rifle that has like a wooden stock and you can't have a mounting plate on the bottom of the rifle, and you still want to use a tripod and a ball head, you'll need a clamp type mount like this pig saddle from Shadow Tech. Now this pig saddle, or I think there's some others, there's a bog grip, they all attach to a tripod. Now a lot of people, when they first start out, they'll just take this hog saddle and they'll mount it directly, you know, to the top, because it'll screw right on here. Okay, but then what happens is that you have left and right movement. The vertical movement you have is up and down. You have to actually move the rifle within these rubber grips. It doesn't have any movement that goes up and down, only left and right. So, I mean, most of the time it's not a big deal because you're shooting out there, the rifle is pretty level. For deer hunting or coyote hunting or hog hunting, it's not too much of a deal. But this is the type of setup you'll need, and you can still use your ball head. Now this one, the advantage is, if you have it on a ball head instead of just attached directly to your tripod, is that you can use your ball head just like you would if you had a mount. But when you're coyote hunting, it's different from any type of other hunting. It's different from hog hunting. It's different from deer hunting. So you need that full range of motion that you get with a ball head. And you need a stable tripod system so that when you have everything locked down, it doesn't teeter-totter, it doesn't wiggle around at all. You can lock it down, make that shot. And I guarantee you that if you invest just a little bit more money and get this clamp mount, a good heavy-duty ball head, a good set of tripod legs, especially one without a center post, you're going to be happy that you did, because you're going to make that shot. When it all boils down to it, what we're doing all this for is just to make that shot. And this is what's going to make you confident, and this is what's going to make you successful. There's more information on the olddeerhunters.com webpage about several different tripod options with their prices. So I'm going to put a link in the description. You can go there. It'll show you several types of ball heads and several different brands of tripod legs. Of course, we always recommend this clamp mount because it's so important. But go there. We've got, prices start for tripod legs at around $100, and they go up to $1,000. This particular set was around, I think it retails for $469. I got it on sale for $299, so I couldn't pass it up. So as far as this whole setup, the cost of it, the tripod legs were $299. The ball head was about $150, and the clamp was about $150. So that's how much money we have into it. But if you hunt as much as we do, it's worth it. You want to make that shot. When you spend all that money and all that time and go out there, you don't want to skimp on a few little things like a clamp mount and miss that coyote. Thanks for watching, and come back and see us. And don't forget our website, theolddeerhunters.com. There's lots of information out there. It's just about every scope review and all the equipment we use, plus loading data for all the rounds that we use, is on that website. So thanks a lot.